Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another video in our week celebrating Halloween and spooky season and whatever else you want to call it. And today our episode is coming from r/AskReddit. So someone asked the question, what are some scary, horrifying, creepy things that have happened to you or in general that could have a plausible explanation but still freak you out? So I felt that this was fitting for our theme this week. Let's get started. This one is kind of creepy, but also kind of comforting. The story was told to me by my grandmother, who is a no-nonsense kind of broad, so I believe every word of it. My grandma had a neighbor/friend who unfortunately lost her husband when she was young, about 40 or so years ago. It was a sudden death, cardiac arrest, or something like that. So this woman was so upset because for a couple of years after his death, she couldn't dream of her husband. For some reason, it really bothered her that she couldn't experience a dream with him in it. It's almost like she wanted it for the comfort. Anyway, some time passes, and this woman is preparing to sell her house and move closer to her kids. They lived a state over. Suddenly, she gets her wish. She starts dreaming, and her husband is in them. She has multiple of these dreams, and in every one, her husband wakes her up, sits down on the bed, and starts speaking to her. However, his speech horrifies her. It was described to me as backwards or garbled. I imagine it to be something similar to the way Twin Peaks characters speak in the Black Lodge. So yeah, pretty dang creepy. She can't make a single word out. A few days before she's about to move out for good, she goes to bed and dreams of him again. The dream is the same, except she understands one word he says. He grabs her in the dream and repeatedly says rafters, almost seeming panicked. She wakes up rattled, but returns to sleep. The next day, as she's finishing up packing in the basement, she looks up and sees the rafters. She remembers the dream and is compelled to reach into them. She does, and pulls out thousands of dollars worth of World War II bonds her husband had purchased without her knowledge. She swears he never told her about them. So he appeared in her dream to tell her so she wouldn't leave all those bonds behind when she sold the house. Story still gives me chills today. Wow, that is like a pretty crazy story, especially like you kind of feel really sad for her because she wanted to at least see her husband in her dreams and she never could, and then when he does, it's like scary and he's not, talking normally. It's like all garbled and probably made her feel really anxious. And then for her to hear rafters finally from her dream and then check the rafters and those bonds that he never told her about are there. That's like, it's crazy amazing. Kind of one of those things that if you're not someone who believes in like supernatural or spiritual things, definitely makes you wonder, When I was younger, my mom, my grandma, and I liked to go to this little frou-frou tea shop that was about 40 miles from our home. It was a cute little place where you could get the classic tea and sandwiches and cute little desserts and all. One time we went, all was normal, but on the way home we received a call that my other grandma had passed away. Very sad, but as she had been battling cancer, not exactly unexpected. The next time we went, a few months later, on the way home, we received a call that my uncle had died suddenly of a heart attack. Creepy coincidence for sure, but we still did not think too much of it at the time. We went back a third time a few months after that, and for the third time on the way home, we received the phone call that someone had died. This time it was my grandpa's brother. We never went back to that tea shop again. Now, all of these people were elderly and not exactly in the best of health, so them passing away around the same time was not exactly creepy. But the fact that 3 separate times that we went to this place, 3 people died the same day and we received the calls on the way home, makes me think something about that place was cursed. It has since closed, but I'm still nervous to even go to that area to this day. Yikes. That would be kind of traumatizing. Like, hey, yeah, remember the last time we went to go enjoy some like fun little tea and cakes and stuff and someone died? Like, that's traumatizing. I wouldn't really want to go in that area either just because of like the association, like every time you go over there and start coming back home, someone's dead. Like, not cool. Obviously, again, exactly to the question, it can be explained. It's just unnerving. I used to have a penchant for wandering around abandoned buildings when I was in high school. One time, a friend and I decided it would be a good idea to explore a farmstead that hadn't been in use for years. The whole experience was really bizarre. The farmstead was accessible by a long gravel road that brought you to a cluster of dilapidated buildings around a central barn. We parked at the end of the gravel road near the turnoff to the main road so we could walk around the property and just pull out quickly later. We went into the barn first, and there were deer bones arranged in a circle around the skull and a bunch of blankets and wood stacked in a corner of the room. We thought it was really cultish and weird, noped out, and started walking back to the car. Halfway down the gravel road, we heard crunching, heavy footsteps and someone screeching behind us. Blood-curdling screeching. We sprinted back to my car and tried to peel out of there as fast as possible, but it had snowed the night prior and my back tire was stuck in a puddle of melted snow. My friend was screaming because she was so freaked out, but wouldn't turn to look at the path behind us. By the time I had gotten the car unstuck, she turned around to see if there was someone following us, and there was no one there. It could have been a bird or something, but we both swear up and down to this day that someone was following us. I actually thought I was going to die that day. Again, terrifying, but at the same time, you were kind of dumb enough to, like, I guess there's a lot of people who love to, like, explore abandoned places and stuff, but, like, y'all went to some place that you obviously don't know if you're allowed to be there, and looked around, so I guess you're kind of asking for the scare a little bit, but I'm glad you were okay in the case that there really was someone following you, because that's creepy. A few years back, I lived with my mother and German Shepherd in a 2-bedroom rented townhome. I got home from work one day and I went about my daily routine. When it came time to eat dinner, I knocked on my mom's door to come and eat. I smelled cigarette smoke and heard her grunt a response. So I went back down and ate alone. I figured I would just put a plate away for her. Fast forward to about 2 a.m., I'm awoken by someone holding my hand and gently shaking it. I immediately shoot straight up and look around. My dog, who is overly protective and sleeps with me every single night, isn't in bed. She isn't even in the room. She most definitely was on my bed when I went to sleep. I sleep with the bedroom door shut and locked. She is scratching at my closed and locked bedroom door from the hallway, frantic. I bolt for the door. I let her in and she is searching the whole room. I'm now yelling for my mother. No answer. I force my dog to walk down the hallway with me. I still smell cigarette smoke. I bang on my mom's door, no answer. So I just open it. She isn't even home. The bed is made and her TV is off. My dog and I search the whole entire house. Nothing is out of place. All the doors and windows are still locked. I was freaked out, to say the least. The next day I called my mom and she told me she left early the day before to go visit my sick grandfather. Then who's the one who responded? Like, I get that, like, you can, dream that someone had, like, touched your hand, because I've actually had a dream specifically, where I swear that I felt someone touch my back, like, they touched my back, like, I felt it, but there was no one there. So who knows, that could have been in their head, but, like, they always have the dog in the room with them. And they didn't. Again, maybe for some reason they thought they did and they didn't. Who answered? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who answered though? Like, that's creepy and really unsettling. So I'm glad you're okay from the slight possibility that someone was in your home. Anyway, I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and drop a like and leave a comment below with your thoughts on these stories. Real quick, I'd like to thank my patrons. On the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy gays. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye!